The girl clearly saw a long nail stuck in the chair, but in order to hide the fact that she was pretending to be blind, she had no choice but to pretend not to see anything and continued walking towards the room. The vicious younger sister, in an attempt to test her, sent the maid away and supported her towards the nail chair. At this moment, all eyes in the room were on her. If she showed any sign of avoiding the nail, her act of pretending to be a rich girl would be completely exposed. It turned out that she wasn't the real billionaire's daughter. The real billionaire's daughter had a car accident several months ago, which she witnessed. She rescued the rich girl from the car and learned from her that her mother had been pushed down the stairs by a scheming woman who was eager to rise to power when she was pregnant. The scheming woman, in an attempt to frame the blinder, deliberately slipped a piece of hemp rope into her hand and made her pull it tight to disguise herself as the murderer. This scene was just witnessed by her father, who was returning home. Seeing his wife lying in a pool of blood and his daughter pulling a rope, the father mistakenly thought it was his daughter who did it and sent her to a mental hospital. She suffered inhumane torture in the hospital for 15 years, while the murderer became the wife of a wealthy man. Not long ago, she was finally allowed to go home by her father, but the vicious stepmother plotted a car accident again, hoping that her daughter would keep the trillion-dollar family fortune to herself. After learning about the rich girl's experience, the woman was filled with mixed emotions. It was only because the daughter of the vicious stepmother was her husband's lover. Her husband, in an attempt to become a son-in-law of a wealthy family, conspired with her mother to bury her alive. Fortunately, she was saved and also met a rich girl who had suffered the same misfortune. Before her death, this rich girl took off her necklace and handed it to her, telling her to live on under her own identity, simply because so many years had passed and no one knew what she looked like now. Before she could finish speaking, she vanished without a trace. The woman accepted her identity with tears in her eyes, set the scene on fire and faked a car accident explosion, determined to make all those who had hurt them pay the price. Soon, the wealthy father held a funeral for his daughter, and the stepmother and daughter pretended to be sad. When the father announced the death of his daughter, a woman disguised as the blind billionaire's daughter suddenly appeared, and the mother and daughter were instantly stunned. She knew clearly that it was not easy to confirm her identity with just a necklace, and her stepmother and daughter would never recognize her. Fortunately, there was a reliable maid. The night before, she had already found out all the family members from the maid's words and had the maid scratch her arm with the exact same scar as that of the rich girl. After making thorough preparations, she decided that the first person to punish would be the daughter of her stepmother who had an affair with her husband.